Transcription number 65 and 66 at the 80 word per minute. Be ready? Start. The honorable member who has just spoken has dealt with certain wider questions which appear to me to go beyond the scope of the present bill, which is a short bill before the House. The House will remember that when this commission was appointed, they were entrusted with two tasks. One was to examine the whole income tax procedure and suggest ways and means to avoid or prevent evasion in future. Secondly, they were to examine specific cases which were referred to them. What the honorable member has been saying really refers to the first part, that is the wider question. As has been stated, I believe, in the statement of objects and reasons we have received from the Income Tax Investigation Commission recommendations on this wider issue, and they will no doubt come up before the House in the form of a measure, and the House will then have full opportunities of considering, then adding to them or altering them so that we might evolve a proper procedure. The sole question before the House now is what to do with the inquiry part of the Commission's work with regard to certain cases that were referred to that. Now, I would beg the House to remember that this is not a roving inquiry. This inquiry has been confined to a certain number of specific cases referred to them up to a certain date. No further cases can come up before them. Apart from that, a fair number of all cases that have been referred to them has been disposed of, and a large number still remains, and this bill is limited to those particular cases and none another. It does not affect the larger issue, and obviously the larger issue cannot be considered in the form of amendments to this particular bill, which is meant to give an opportunity to the Commission of Inquiry to complete its task in those specific cases which have been entrusted to it. This matter would normally, of course, have been dealt with by my honorable colleague, the finance minister. Unfortunately, he is not here, but I should like to inform the House that next only to the finance minister, I have taken a great deal of interest in the work of this commission, more perhaps than any other of my colleagues. Of course, the finance minister will be better able to deal with us. I have also been fairly closely connected with the matter in the sense that I have attached great importance to this work, and I have occasionally had talks with the members of the commission to find out how they were getting on. May I say that the criticism that has been made, I think, yesterday by the honorable member about the rather sorry result of their labors appears to me totally unjustified. I feel their labors have resulted in very substantial and very good results. They have labored under great difficulties, and in spite of that, they have proceeded calmly and steadily with their work in the highest judicial traditions, and the House will remember that the chairman of this commission is one of our most eminent and respected judges in India. We attached great importance to the fact that a commission of this kind must have men of the highest ability and integrity, and we were fortunate in finding such a man in Mr. Vardachri. Stop. Anything entrusted to a judge of that high standing with his lifelong experience of the bench is bound to be carried out in a judicial manner. The House can be sure of that. In fact, possibly, if delays have occurred as they have, partly they are due to the fact that the Commission and the Chairman are anxious to preserve every type of judicial procedure and not to do anything which might even give any suspicion of hurrying through and not giving that opportunity which should be given if the House could see the decisions that they have given. They are tremendously long, 70, 80, or 100 pages. They have carefully given every opportunity and have come certain decisions. Most of these decisions also I would like the House to remember are ultimately by constant. Now, the difficulty in dealing with such matters through, let us say, the income tax department, which is the normal way of dealing with them, has been that they cannot deal with them both judicially and at the same time informally. They have to be formal, their rules govern them, and the people concerned do not like that particular process. They do not welcome it. They do not go there easily unless they are compelled by law to go there. They do come, at least relatively, with this reluctance to this inquiry commission because the inquiry commission can deal with them informally, can come to deal with them informally, can come to terms with them almost any terms that they consider just and proper, which the income tax department cannot easily do always in this manner. Stop. Transcription number 66. At the outset, I should like to state that we are not able to understand some of the secrets of the railway board and the policy which they are following. When I say secret, I mean that they have got certain policies and methods which are not easily sorry, understandable by people like us. There is no proper organization through which the ordinary railway laborers and their associations could represent their grievances. The Honorable Minister was pleased to say the other day that there is the Railwaymen's Federation. But I must tell him that the practical difficulty of all the unions in the railways is that they are not able to push their case through the railway men's federation. Another thing I would like to point out is that when representations are made to the honorable railway minister or the railway board, in many cases we get a suitable reply, and as far as I have seen, we do get a suitable reply, but that is all. I would request the honorable minister to see that their cases are properly considered and something is done to them. The other day, I represented to the honorable minister and also the railway board the case of the sanitary inspectors. They are classified as supervisory staff. Prior to 3rd May 1948, they were given upper class passes like other officers, but since that date, all of a sudden, the upper class passes have been stopped for these people. We do not understand why this discrimination should have been made against these sanitary inspectors. I would request the Honorable Minister to see that proper consideration is shown to them and to remove inconsistencies in this regard. Even though repeated representations have been made to the railway board and the honorable minister, the case of the running staff has never been properly considered at all. In the case of B grade firemen, all of a sudden the literacy qualification was introduced and people who have passed the SSLC examination have been taken directly as firemen. But what about the case of those who entered service before this literacy question was introduced? Some of them have put in more than 10 years of service. They were recruited by a staff selection board after proper examination. They were never required to pass the SSLC examination when they entered service. But suddenly, this literacy qualification has been introduced and their chances of promotion have been reduced. The number of persons affected is very small, and I would therefore request the Honorable Minister to look into their case favorably. Another point is about telegraph inspectors. They are the people who look after the maintenance of telegraph lines. They have been recruited in the normal manner and they are the people who have put in service of more than 10 or 15 years. The question of wireless inspectors came in at that time of war. They are now classified along with telegraph inspectors whenever certain appointments or grades are introduced. The case of the telegraph inspectors is overlooked. The wireless inspectors, who are called communication inspectors, at present came into the picture only at the time of war. Now, what happens is that the telegraph inspectors who have put in a service of more than 10 or 15 years and who look after the work which was used to be done by the wireless inspectors are neglected and overlooked. I hope their cases will receive the deepest consideration of government and a proper solution will be found. I now come to the grievances of travelling ticket examiners. Representations were made by them that they should be classified as running staff. They are not sitting staff. They have been representing that they should be classified as running staff along with drivers and firemen. Their cases have also been overlooked. It is a small case and the railway board can easily understand it if only they have a mind to look into the matter. There are ever so many things, but I don't want to mention them all. I do not understand the secrets of the delay. According to the railway board, delay means 10 years. That is the minimum. I am not exaggerating. I shall give you an example. An estimate for constructing an overbridge was sanctioned 10 years ago. Nobody came here. I requested the Honorable Deputy Minister to visit that place. He was pleased to visit it. I must thank the Honorable Deputy Minister on behalf of my constituency. What happens is that we cannot be taking the Honorable Railway Minister or the Honorable Deputy Minister to each and every place where a work has to be executed. This is another point which I want the Railway Ministry as well as the Railway Board to bear in mind. People are nowadays afraid of traveling in aeroplanes, but I think that a reference to the volume of papers supplied to us will show that accidents to trains are increasing day by day. Stop.